This is Ms. Standberry again at the International Prolife Federation. I have with me this evening a community activist, and this is a friend of mine who's also a community activist with a lot of different things insofar as the DCFS situation, which I am too. We encourage people to call us at 773-606-9264. You will be seeing a lot of Ms. Funchess on my studio shows at KNTV as soon as they open up. But tonight, I want to introduce her. And the topic tonight that we're going to talk about is ADHD. And you said there's another one called ADHD, or what is that?
There is one that's called ADD, which is Attention Deficit Disorder, and another one called ADHD, which is Attention Deficit Hyperactivity Disorder.
And we call that post-traumatic.
There's one called Post-Traumatic Stress Disorder, and then Anxiety Disorder.
Okay, so let's talk about these type of things where they want to label our children. A lot of times, there's nothing really wrong with them, but they label it that.
Yes.
Sometimes ADHD could be, I just got a child that likes to be active.
Right. And,
and
creative.
And so they label our children a lot of things to keep their 501c3 organizations going and to keep their medication coming at us. Yes. And to keep us in a certain category. So let's say that we are not for a lot of these different labels.
Right.
You know, we don't want to be labeled every time in a negative way because it affects our children, it affects our households.
And it affects their self-esteem.
Yeah.
And to me, I think that's just a lazy approach in some cases, not all cases, but if you notice that it is easily thrown around in the minority community.
Oh, yes.
Very much so. You can go in the office, sit there a few minutes, and before you know it, you have a label thrown on you. And what people don't understand, those labels follow you for the rest of your life.
Sure do.
Did you know that demographics come out and the way to determine how many jails and prisons that they are going to open is by how you perform in the 3rd grade and in the 6th or 7th grade? And then they take that and they figure that if you performing and you have special needs and like that you will end up in jail and prison. And so they go and the demographics go and they use them IEPs and they use them labels and they take that and that's how they determine how many jails and prisons to make. Oh yes, just a word of thought. So
yes,
you know,
yes,
so you can be aware of that.
And then talk about this post-traumatic stress syndrome, which they want to put some kind of thing on that too now. But everybody can have that. Well,
you know what? Actually, if you look at a little bit into it, post-traumatic stress is more common than what you realize.
Yeah,
it's more common, and I beg to differ. It's not. They use it when they want to describe those in the military, the army, which is valid. But do you also know that? I'm gonna give this one to you. I'm gonna call it. Do you know that there's a such thing that we call it, instead of post-traumatic stress disorder, we call it post-traumatic slave disorder?
Amen.
Yes. You know, because many of us are still traumatized by the acts and heinous acts and crimes that went on through our ancestors and continues on today. Look at what's happening today. Right. These are heinous acts,
right,
being imposed on us. You can't tell me that history of documentaries showing that many of our men being castrated and their private parts being put in their mouth and burned alive, and then acts of humiliating and demeaning the African American man in front of the woman is not traumatizing, because it teaches you to teach your child so I can sleep, because they can't sleep. But if they do their job and they'll say, okay, that black woman will put the fear of God in that child so that the slave master can rest. So he don't have to do anything. We are the watchers for him. You know, and then there's the field slave and the house slave. The house slave said, you know, master, we don't want to leave master. We don't want to do nothing for master because master let me eat in the house.
And you know what? This is really not. This is by coincidence. You know, today is Juneteenth, and this is when we finally found out 2 years after we were declared free that we were free. Mm-hmm. So everybody is celebrating. Well, I'm so glad it was school on TV. They're celebrating Juneteenth. A lot of people are celebrating Juneteenth today. So it's amazing that we got into the discussion of how a lot of this comes from the way we were treated by our ancestors.
Yes, and continue to be so today.
Yes.
As a matter of fact, I go as far to say that I'm not going to say it's worse, but I'm just saying that let's ask the question, how free are we?
Yes.
Have we really made progress as much as we think? Mm-mm. Well, I beg to differ. Many believe that we have actually went back farther today than we were then.
That's right.
Many of the people that have died for us could beg to differ,
That's right.
because we have lost when we were black, when we were able to use the word black and we were segregated. I'm not saying that I'm pushing for segregation. I'm not saying that. I'm definitely not prejudiced or racist. I'm actually fair. I like to look at all views. I'm a realist. I would call myself a truthless, okay? Meaning that, and I cone that. Y'all can have that. Meaning I'm a truthless. I like to deal with the truth. Here's my theory. If you say I'm wrong and I beg to differ, you challenge me. I don't get into. I say, well, you know what? If I'm wrong, prove me right, and I'll prove you. Show me where I'm wrong, and I'll give you the statistic. Mm-hmm. Does not the statistic tell us this now?
Right.
Actually, let me give you a little information. Did you know there was a renowned psychiatrist who said that one of the worstest things that could have ever been done? There was many heinous things, but that goes on today, that's affecting us today, is the uprooting of African Americans, families and members and women's and children out of their family. Mm-hmm. That's one of the biggest trauma that affected the family, not only in the past but of today, is uprooting. And that act is also being done through DCFS. Mm-hmm. Now, I'm not speaking against those that are, and I'm not encouraging abuses and neglects. I'm saying that there is many factual cases where it has been shown that DCFS have taken it out of context, blowed up something that was totally innocent, no abuse, no bruising, but just someone who needed support, and they blowed it. But how often do you hear that of other people that don't look like us have done heinous stuff? Mm-hmm. And what happens to them? Slap on their hand, and their family is attacked. Let's just talk about it. See, I'm a realist. If you don't want to talk about the truth, you don't want to come to me. Because I deal with the facts. I love all races of peace, but I like diversity. But I deal with the truth. I don't care what your ethnic group. Let's deal with the truth. Because if you say that I challenge you on this, I say, show me your facts and I'll show you mine. Okay, in public opinion, people know that this is the truth. You can look this up yourself. Uprooting of the family. We're the only race of people that cannot live in a household without them targeting us and saying that too many people are. They're saying that too many people are in the household. When we see other ethnic groups, it's traditional for them to stay in the household with each other. So therefore, they pool their money together. They're able to have more resources. But when African Americans come together to do anything, to try to do anything, we don't do it like we used to. When we came here, many of us wouldn't have been where we are today if it wasn't for us pooling our money, our resources together. And if you couldn't get along at home, you acted like you loved one another in front of your parents.
Sure did.
And you made it. But it's common now. If I want an apartment, now I got to go get something I can't afford. My income can't afford it. Somebody else gets something. Why can't you just come together and you all purchase a home? Because we get attacked on every level when we try to do for ourselves. No other race is attacked. Even the Jews. Let me show you.
And Webb Evans also said that. Webb Evans was had the United Progress Association, and he died this past year. But he always was about buying black and putting the dollar bills together. He says black people can do it. We can do it. But
yes,
he was talking about how we have more churches than anybody because that's all they want to give the black man is a church. They don't want to give him too many businesses. They want to give him a church.
And the fact is, churches actually pull in billions of dollars every year. Did you know that?
Yeah.
It is statistics shows that churches pull in billions of dollars, but we get less than 2% of the wealth come back in our neighborhood. So even if we did get reparation, you know what they say?
Reparations. But you know what? What's so good about it is there's a thing now that's saying that Obama will try to push for this, and I hope he does, because at least if we got a black president, at least we want him to push for reparations for black people before he leave office. And I'm so thankful that
when was this announced? Because last I heard.
I found this on the internet. Matter of fact, today that it's a known fact that Obama may push for reparations before he leave office, and I'm hoping and praying that he does, because it would make us, because it's going to be a tragic thing if we elect a black president and he's the main one saying no.
Right, because last I heard, I don't know if it's true, but I heard many elitists and say that he was against giving it to us. So
well, yeah, but now it's a change of heart.
Because everybody has gotten a reparation. The Native Americans, the Indians, the Jews. Let me tell you something. Did you all know when Jews came here, many of them didn't all have money. The ones that had money, it was tradition for the Jews to take their money and take care of their own. That's why you don't see a lot of those that are poor hurting for nothing, because they took care of their own. So those that had, it was obligated. It was looked upon for them to depend on them, that when they make it here in America, that when they set up shop, they gave back, and that was part of their tithing to help their people, and they do it to this day on every aspect. Did you know, even with legal help? Many of these agencies, look at who runs it. See, I'm a person that don't like to tell you everything. I like for people to, I had to learn to do this. Love being a thinker. Don't always look for a person to tell you the answer. Let them give you that, and then you think about it yourself. The Bible said, let every man be persuaded by his own mind. Okay? And if you're missing a lot of stuff, and I'm very concerned, because a lot of our people, we can't see. But I'm going to tell you something. That's divine too. That's in the Bible. God don't allow or don't put it on everybody, his love and grace to give you wisdom and knowledge on. If you seek for it, he'll give it to you. But he don't give it to everybody, because everybody wouldn't know how to deal with it. They wouldn't know what to do with it. So we have to learn to speak truth to power. We in the black community, and my people, I'm trying to encourage myself, and I'm trying to encourage others, because I know many people have lost hope out here. This is hopeless. Many of us, we just can't wrap our mind around, and we are the most religious people there is, African Americans. You know, we're open to forgiving when people know the error of their ways.
Yes.
And so sometimes that can be to our fault too. That's why people do us the way we do us, because I'm not saying that because I'm a person of faith and I believe we supposed to forgive. But do I have to forgive you as soon as you do all this wrong to me, and you take me out and the family out, you do all this, when I'm saying this is metaphor, if you do all these attacks on me, do I have to invite you over to Thanksgiving dinner?
No.
No, to forgive you, I don't have to invite you in my home. You know, I can forgive you and love you from a distance, feed you with a long handled spoon. You know what I'm saying? So we have to wake up. You got to read between lines what I'm telling you.
And you know what I was just thinking, what I wanted to also get back to the fact about the children being labeled. I think people should be very careful of letting any school system label their children ADHD or, you know, anything, or because you get more than one opinion from a school system.
It's always good to get more than one opinion.
Because you know, you don't want to have schools label your children and end up giving your children medication for the most of the time that they're in school, because they're children. They say they're hyper, they this, they that. You know, don't they cannot classify all children as being hyper. So I would encourage people, don't accept no first label of a child being ADHD in these schools, because it's a program thing to label black children that to give them medication anyway. So we know organizations already started to want to push the medication for.
And I want to say that I'm not knocking doctors, because I believe that God has put doctors here as well. But I'm just saying, do your homework. Don't do your homework. I did homework. My children had IEPs, but you know what? I didn't let them get stuck with medicine and stuff like that. And I'm a person of faith. I also work with my kids. They are my investment. You have to be willing to invest with your children. Get to know the terminology, what they mean. Look for options. Look at other ways that you can help your child. And here's another thing. Don't send your children to school for other people to babysit them. Be prepared to invest in your child as well. Hold the teachers accountable and find out what these children should be learning. Do your research and see if they have a curriculum, and make sure the teachers are upholding, because they are dumbed down in our children's now. And I'm not saying that all of this is teachers, but some of this is the parents' fault. So it's a team. It takes team collaboration. But I'm saying that I want to just bring you aware. Many of us know that them labels are thrown around freely amongst black people like that. And then they don't even want to give you the services for them. If you look at the research and you compare the services, those of other ethnic groups or those that don't look like me and you, they get all kind of services.
And you know what? Now they want to take nurses out of the schools now.
Oh, they do?
Yeah, some of the teachers are talking about that. We're not going to accept that. We're not going to accept that because we're not trained to be nurses. We don't need to take nurses out of the school system.
I'm going to tell you something. We have hit a stumbling block here. You got to look at what the leaders, I don't have to name it. We just have to look at our leaders. It don't look like they having the best interests of our children. We know that. This has been going on a long time. This hasn't just started. It has deteriorated. They just made an announcement that the school is going bankrupt. Did you hear about that? They just announced that last week, that the schools are going bankrupt.
That's terrible. That's terrible, because they get all these charter schools out here now. First of all, charter schools is getting double money. They're getting money from us, and then they're getting money from private sector.
Well, I'm a person. I'm for any school that teach you, because I'm a believer that it's not, you can't do a all for and make that for everyone. Everybody don't learn.
But all I'm saying is this here. I know that all of us came from public schools,
right?
But I don't like the procession to privatize, because all this is leading up to is for education will not be free, and that's what it's going to end up being. Privatizing the schools is going to end up where we don't have public education, because public education helped all of us. And so the point is, I believe that public education was the best thing that America had going, because you go to foreign countries now, you have to pay for your education, primary, elementary. And I think public education should be something that we should leave it as it is, because privatization is just going to be something that ends up messing up the school system. Matter of fact, they already found out that most of the children in these privatized schools are not at the same grade level as public school children, so their teachers are not as qualified in some cases.
Actually, they actually found that out years ago, and then they also added that many of the teachers went on record and admitted that many of the subjects that they are sitting up under, they haven't even mastered it for themselves. So.
Well, anyway, this has been a good discussion. And like I say, we want our audience to contact us at 773-606-9264. Mothers, fathers, uncles, aunties. Contact us and give us your input. And we'd like to invite all of you on our show. So we will be having continuous shows down at the CAN TV studios. We're going to have a brand new facility with parking lot. 1309 South Woods, and it's going to be opening up probably around November. So get ready. It's been a great evening.
And again, my name is Talitha Funchess, and Do I give them my P.O. box, or are they gonna
You can
get
get. You want the P.O. box?
My P.O. box is P.O. Box 8620, Chicago, Illinois 60680. I didn't give it on the first taping.
Yeah, but
you can also get in
if they
touch with,
if they want to write you a personal letter, that's a good thing. What's your P.O. box again?
P.O. Box 8620, Chicago, Illinois 60680. And you can
spell
also,
your name. Talitha.
Talitha, Talitha,
And the last name.
Funchess.
Right. Thank you so much.
And you all be the prayer warriors out there, be praying for me, and hopefully you'll be seeing more of me. And I hope that this has educated you and uplifted you. And we have a lot of work to do, and we have to hold our public officials accountable as well.
Amen. Have a good evening.
Have a good evening. Bye.